When actor and writer Colin Welland won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay in 1982, he announced the British are coming. Was that a promise or a threat? Today's choice on Pat's Film Club Pick of the Day is Chariots of Fire. Hi and welcome to Pat's Film Club Pick of the Day. My name is Pat Kelman. I'm a film distributor based in Cornwall, and I set up Pat's Film Club in order to help people to go back to the cinema, to make going to the cinema an event again. And for the last 18 months to 2 years, I've been running event screenings all over the southwest, and we're going to be expanding further into the UK as time goes by. Of course, we can't all get to the cinema, so what this particular podcast is about me scouring through the listings, and I choose one film a day to recommend. And it's a film that's on free-to-air television, no streaming subscription required. You know, nowadays with streaming and algorithms, we're thrown so many options for films to watch. It can be a bit overwhelming. And so what I'm trying to do is kind of cut through the noise and just say, this is really interesting. It's really worth a watch. And today's film is on BBC 4 and it's on at 10:35 tonight. And it is Chariots of Fire, written by Colin Welland, directed by Hugh Hudson and produced by David Putnam. Chariots of Fire is a historical drama that tells the true story of two British athletes, Liddell and Harold Abrahams, who compete in the 1924 Paris Olympics. Liddell, a devout Christian, runs to glorify God, while Abrahams, a determined Jew, runs to overcome prejudice. Their journeys are marked by personal and societal challenges, culminating in their inspiring performance at the Olympics. The film is a must-watch because of really good, elegant, classic storytelling and two phenomenal lead performances by Ian Charleston and Ben Cross. And, of course, the film is well known for its iconic score by Vangelis, which was a massive hit at the time. It could be heard on sports TV broadcasts all over the UK for many years to come after the film came out. I think it's a really interesting film. It's one that, when I think of British costume period dramas, you know, I kind of can't help but have a certain element of prejudice where I'm kind of thinking, you know, it's going to be a bit worthy, it's going to be a bit theatrical, a bit tweedy. But this is very different to that because it's actually deep down not just about being a great sports movie. It's also about the way that faith and people's reaction to someone's faith can actually become a challenge in people's lives. So you've got Liddell, who is a very devout Christian, and he's running to glorify God, and he's got this kind of inner strength and inner peace. And that's contrasted beautifully with Ben Cross's Harold Abrahams, who is constantly encountering prejudice, almost at the beginning of the film when he goes down to Cambridge. When he is trying to do a run around the courtyard in his college, the two housemasters, beautifully played by John Gielgud and Lindsay Anderson, the famous film director, are literally just kind of going, oh yes, oh yes, well of course he would be. And is his father a banker? Oh yes. And so all this institutional racism kind of powers this guy to be the best he could possibly be. So you've got someone with really natural gifts and a real inner calm and sense of serenity and security against this guy who's very driven and very tormented. And so this clash of personalities and this clash of philosophies really comes to the fore and makes a really amazing dramatic core. So you've got the element of sports movie. Are they going to win? How's it going to go? You've got all the training sequences. You've got the iconic opening shot of the film as they're running along the beach to Vangelis' score. And that actually kind of gives you an idea that the film is kind of not what it actually is. You're kind of given a false sense of security by its beautiful costumes and beautiful photography, and actually the film itself is much more deeply rooted in the earth and in the discussions of faith and the conflict, not just external, will they win the race, but also internal with their own inner struggles and demons. And I think this kind of contrast comes down to Colin Welland's script, because Colin Welland was a very well-known working class writer and actor in the UK. He was a regular on a British police procedural in the late 60s and early 70s called Z-Cars. And so when he became a writer, people were kind of like, oh, where's this kind of coming from? He then won a BAFTA for his acting performance as one of the teachers in the film Kes, which, if you've not seen, is an absolute masterpiece from the 70s. And so I think that working class grit that he has inside him really made a difference in the film of Chariots of Fire. And, you know, when he did go on the stage at the Academy Awards in 1982 and said, "The British are coming," I'm not quite sure how that kind of played out in the long run, but it was a real kind of call to action. And of course, David Putnam, the producer, then went on to become the studio head at Columbia Pictures for a while, which is very interesting. He talked about in a number of books about the subject, but a lot of it comes down to Chariots of Fire. And, you know, it's a film that's got a bit of a worthy reputation, but it's a much more interesting, much more sophisticated piece than that. And I really recommend it to you very highly. So today's pick of the day, Thursday, 25th of July, 2024, is Chariots of Fire. It's on BBC 4 at 10:35 p.m. and I highly recommend it. If you've enjoyed today's recommendation, then please feel free to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or rate and review if you're listening to us on a podcast. You can follow us on socials at Pat's Film Club on Facebook, X, Instagram and TikTok. You can go to our website, patsfilmclub.com, where there's a mailing list you can sign up to be told about anything that's coming up. And in fact, in August, all over the Southwest and in the other parts of the UK as well, we're going to be showing Wes Craven's seminal 1977 shocker, The Hills Have Eyes. Our friends at Arrow Films have given me the opportunity to share this amazing film with you. And so I'm going to go all out like I normally do with Pat's Film Club. So there's going to be a programme, there's going to be a badge, and there's going to be, you know, an introduction from me. So I just want to make sure that it's a great night for everyone. And I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant event. So, of course, if you're on the mailing list, you'll hear all the details about that as soon as they're announced. I just want to say thanks ever so much for joining me today. And I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow with another recommendation for Pat's Film of the Day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening. Our theme tune today was composed by Modern Music, licensed via pixabay.com.